Today, we're lifting the hood on ExpressVPN's trusted server tech and talking about why it's different from the way most VPNs run their servers. What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric Hunsaker, and around here we try to cut the jargon and explain this stuff like we're just chatting over coffee. So by the end of this video, you'll know what trusted server actually does, why it matters for privacy, what the trade-offs look like, and a few simple things that you can do to get the most out of it. Why server security matters, for real, not just in theory. All right, let's start with the why here. Now, when you use any VPN, you're basically saying, I trust you to handle my traffic properly. Your device encrypts the data, the VPN server decrypts it on the other side, and then it goes out to the wider internet. That hop in the middle, the VPN's server, is the part you don't see. And that's where trust either gets earned or it gets lost. If a provider is sloppy with logs, slow with updates, or lets old software linger on a box in the corner of a data center, it's probably where problems creep in. It could be simple mistakes, or it could be someone sneaking in and leaving behind something nasty that survives a reboot. Worst case, a breach exposes info about your activity or your real IP address. You might never even know it happened until you feel the impact. Most VPNs still run traditional servers where the operating system and lots of little system processes write to disk. Admins log in, apply updates, clear logs, hope for the best. It's common and it works, but it leaves room for human error and leaves traces behind. Now, ExpressVPN looked at that risk and they said, what if the server never had a place to store the stuff in the first place? And that's where Trusted Server comes in. The big idea. Start fresh every time. Leave nothing behind. Trusted Server flips the script by running everything in RAM, the computer's volatile memory. RAM is like a whiteboard that gets wiped the second the power goes off. No hard drives for logs to land on, no dusty boot sectors to hide malware, no sleepy corner where temporary files keep living for months. So here's the flow in plain English. When a trusted server turns on, it doesn't boot from a local disk. It loads a clean, read-only image from a central source. Think of that image like a golden copy, a perfect template of the operating system and VPN software that they want running. Because it's read-only, it can't be changed mid-flight. If anyone tried to mess with it, a reboot nukes those changes instantly because they never touched a permanent drive. So imagine if every morning you opened a brand new laptop that was set up exactly how you like it. Same app, same settings, but with zero leftover files from the day before. No crumbs, no cache, no weird log files you forgot to clean. That's sort of the idea behind Trusted Server. Clean start on boot, clean slate on shutdown. RAM only in practice. What ephemeral really means. All right, let's make this tangible here. So on your personal computer, if you forget to hit save and you reboot, that text you were typing vanishes. RAM can't hold on to anything once the power's gone. Trusted Server leans into this forgetfulness on purpose. Reboots are routine, so even if a machine is running hot with lots of connections, it never gets the chance to build up a pile of stuff that just sticks around. This design also shrinks the ways that an attacker can dig in. No spinning disks or SSDs means there's no disk firmware to tamper with, no boot records to infect, no hidden partitions for someone to stash code. It doesn't make the servers invincible, nothing does, but it removes a big chunk of the attack surface that traditional servers have to defend. Another win, if a server is seized or inspected while it's powered off, there's nothing to pull from the disk because, again, there is no disk with persistent data. If it's inspected while running, memory is constantly being overwritten and rotated. A lot of sensitive material may already be gone, and a reboot wipes the board completely. No logs isn't a slogan, it's a system design. So you've probably seen every VPN on Earth say, we don't log, or have a no logs policy. It's a cool line. The hard part is actually building an environment where logs don't appear by accident. On normal servers, background services love to write little notes about everything. Connections, crashes, warnings, timestamps. Even if a company promises not to keep logs, those system notes can still exist unless they've been intentionally shut off or redirected. Trusted Server tackles this at the plumbing level. Anything that could generate logs is either disabled at the source or pointed to the digital trash can so it's discarded the instant it's created. Think of it as sending every Dear Diary entry straight into the shredder the moment it's written. On top of that, the whole operating system image is engineered to minimize chatty services. Fewer noisy background processes, fewer surprises. And look, it's one thing to say that in marketing. It's better when a third party checks it. ExpressVPN brings in outside security firms to poke holes, try to spot leaks, and validate that the servers actually behave the way they say. The point isn't like, trust us, we're nice. The point is verify the system because it's built to leave nothing behind. One image to rule them all. Consistency beats guesswork. Now there's another underrated benefit to this approach. Consistency. With TrustedServer, every box in their network boots from the same trusted image. That means when there's a bug fix or security patch, it's updated centrally. The next time servers cycle, they all come back with the latest clean build. No one forgot to patch server number 418 because Steve was on vacation. This solves a really common headache in big networks: drift. Over time, those hand-tuned servers start to look different from each other. One has an extra package installed, one's still on an old version, and one has a config file that someone tweaked 3 months ago and then forgot. TrustedServer kills drift. Everything's uniform. If a fix is needed, it's applied once to the golden image and goes live everywhere. Does RAM only hurt performance? Short answer, not in the way you'd think. RAM is fast, much faster than disk. Reading and writing in memory is basically instant compared to writing to a drive. So in many cases, a RAM-only system feels snappier. Where you can hit limits is capacity. A server has a fixed amount of memory. If too many connections pile on, you could exhaust RAM sooner than you'd fill a big disk. ExpressVPN's answer is boring but effective. Size the hardware correctly. Watch usage and spin up more servers as needed. Also, because everything has to fit in memory, the software stack tends to be leaner on purpose. Less bloat means fewer random services hogging resources, faster restarts, and fewer oddball conflicts stealing performance in the background. Ironically, the security design can make things feel faster, not slower. Trade-offs and risks, because every design has them. No system's perfect, so let's talk about the yeah, but side of this equation. First, central images become important targets. If an attacker somehow poisoned the golden image, that bad code could spread everywhere on reboot. That's why providers lock down who can touch the image, use cryptographic signatures to verify it hasn't been altered, and keep backups offline so they can roll back fast if anything looks suspicious. It's a risk, but it's also manageable with good controls. Second, quick experiments are harder. On old school servers, an engineer might SSH into a production box, tweak a config, and see what happens. That's not how TrustedServer is designed. You don't hot edit production. You build a new image, test it, then deploy it across the fleet. It's a little slower for debugging, but that slowness is intentional. It prevents random one-off changes that create inconsistencies or introduce new risks. Third, security is still a habit, not a checkbox. RAM only removes a big class of problems, but it doesn't excuse you from the basics. Data centers still need physical security. Networks still need monitoring. Software still needs patching. And on your side as a user, you still want strong passwords, two-factor authentication, and an up-to-date VPN app. TrustedServer is a solid foundation, not a magic shield. How this compares to regular VPN servers. Now, other providers have stated moving toward RAM-only or diskless designs in parts of their networks. And that's a trend that, we love to see. That said, not every implementation is the same. Some only keep logs off disk, but still run most of the same OS from storage. Some only keep logs off disk, but still run most of the operating system from storage. Others might run RAM disks for certain folders, but rely on drives for the rest. Some deploy RAM only in a few regions, but not all regions. When you're comparing services, ask simple, practical questions. Do all servers boot from a read-only, centrally managed image? Are logs disabled or routed to nowhere at the operating system level, not just promised away in a policy? How often do servers reboot? Have independent testers verified the setup recently? You don't need to be an engineer to understand the answers. You're just trying to separate marketing gloss from how the machines are actually run. Real-world privacy. What this looks like day to day. All right, enough architecture talk. What does this mean when you're just trying to live your life online? It means when you connect to an ExpressVPN server, you're landing on a box that starts clean and ends clean. If you're streaming a show, working remotely, researching something sensitive, or just trying to stop your ISP from hoovering up your browsing history, then you're riding on infrastructure that's designed to forget you. If a box is rebooted, your session doesn't leave footprints on a drive for someone to dig up later. It also means the network behaves consistently. If a bug shows up and gets patched, you don't have to cross your fingers that your server will be fixed next month. When the image is updated, the whole fleet flips over as servers cycle. You get the fix everywhere and quickly. And if something weird ever did happen at the data center level, the RAM-only design keeps the blast radius smaller. A reboot wipes the slate, a new image restores the known good state. You don't have to rely on a tech physically visiting a rack to hand wipe drives and reinstall a system from scratch. The design already expects clean boots as a routine thing. Bottom line, transparency and a clean design beat promises. So here's why this matters. VPNs ask for your trust, but trust should be backed by design. Trusted servers RAM-only, boot from a read-only image, wipe on shutdown, patch centrally approach is a clean, modern way to earn that trust. It reduces the chance that something quietly lingers on a server, and it makes it easier to roll out fixes quickly when the world changes, which it always does. So we covered some big ideas. Why server architecture matters, how trusted server keeps data ephemeral, how the no logs promise is enforced by the system itself, what performance picture looks like, and kind of what the trade-offs are. Is it perfect? Nothing is. It's a smart, forward-thinking way to run a privacy-focused network. Absolutely. So if you're curious about the behind the scenes of the tech that keeps you safer online, then tell me what you want me to dig into next down in the comments. Now, if you want to get started with ExpressVPN, we've got a link for you down in the description below. That'll bring you to this page right here where you can click on Get ExpressVPN and go ahead and explore. They've got a couple different options here. They've got the Pro plan, the Basic plan, and the Advanced plan. And then they also have like an initial service term you can choose from. So you're going to get the best savings with the 2-year plan. Then they also have a 12-month plan and a 1-month plan. So for the 2-year plan, here's the pricing for the Pro, Advanced, and the Basic. So if you want to get started with ExpressVPN, just click the link down below in the description. Again, this is an affiliate link, so if you end up using it, we thank you so much in advance. And it's a great way to go ahead and help out the channel because it allows us to continue to create free videos just like this. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Here on this channel, we talk about VPNs, cybersecurity, and how to stay safe online, so be sure and subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you here in the next video.